Hello, Sacramento, and welcome to Full of Heart Homes Real Estate Market Update. I'm Irik Edens, your host, and I'm a realtor here in the Sacramento region with Full of Heart Homes. Today is August 24th, 2025, and I'm excited to share the latest insights on our local real estate market. Plus, shine a spotlight on one of Sacramento's most charming neighborhoods. Let's dive right into the numbers. Sacramento is in mostly a buyer's market, but there's still good opportunities for some of the sellers here in Sacramento. Let's take a look at some of the home prices. Home prices are giving kind of mixed signals here. Okay, and this is why I'm saying that there's opportunities for both buyers and sellers. There are more opportunities for buyers and sellers, but for some sellers, it's a good opportunity for them. The median sale price in Sacramento hit about $496,500 in July. That's down about 2.6% compared to this time last year. But the average sold price in June was $620,000, which is actually a 0.5% higher than it was this time last year. This suggests that while overall it's a buyer's market, it also shows in kind of the higher priced homes, they're holding their value a lot more. And so it's actually not that bad of a time to sell for those in the higher priced neighborhoods. This is especially true if you're downsizing, because if you're downsizing, you're most likely buying into a home that is more affordable. And if it's more affordable and you just sold a more expensive home, it's the high interest rates aren't going to affect you so much, especially, and they won't affect you at all if you don't need a mortgage. You're just selling your house and using the proceeds from the sale of the house to downsize into a smaller home. So it's a great time to do that. Here's a game changer for buyers. The amount of homes on the market is up about 46% right now compared to this time last year. And so there's a lot more homes to choose from. Okay. And because there's a lot more homes to choose from and you don't have the competition you had before, you're not rushing into things. You're not settling for a home that you really don't like. You just feel like you need to get something, so you just bought it. Now that's not going to happen to you. Okay, and you're going to be able to negotiate for lower prices. You negotiate concessions from sellers. It's a great time for all that. You can negotiate, getting your rate buy down for the interest rate, so your monthly payment is lower. You can negotiate helping get to pay for closing costs. Buyers have so much leverage in negotiations now because there's so many homes on the market and not enough buyers. And we're looking forward. We're looking at, experts are saying the values are going to go down another percent or so between now and next summer. And if that's the case, we're really not going down that much further. Okay, so between now and next spring is a great time to buy, because we're getting into the parts of the year where there's becoming less and less buyers. People like to buy more in the spring and early summer than late summer, fall, and winter. People, especially people with children, they want to get into their next home before registration for school for the next year is required. Right. And that's in the spring and early summer. So you don't have to worry about those families of children as competition during the fall and winter. So it's a great time, even less buyers and still a lot of homes on the market. During 2021 and 2022, you would have had to put an offer the same day you went to go look at the house. And most likely you would have had to put an offer over asking, right? And may have even had to waive inspections, which I never, ever advise my clients to do. In fact, if my clients want to, depending on the situation, depending on the house, as I look through it, I may just to tell them, hey, you're gonna have to work with another realtor because I don't feel right about this, right? So in our current situation, we don't have to compete with people irresponsibly waiving inspections and appraisal contingencies and all that. You don't want to do that. Those things protect you, right? That's why they're there. Don't ever do that. For sellers, you need to be more strategic. You need to make sure you price your home properly. Right now, since prices are going down, you can't really base your price on the comps of sold homes over the last 90 days, which is what's normally done. Okay, because even 90 days ago, the homes are not the same value as they are now. They were higher value than they are now. So if you base it on that, you're going to be priced too high, and you're not going to get people coming in to see your home. Okay, you want to price it properly so you get more people in the home, more people interested in your home, because more people have seen it and fallen in love with it, and now you have some competition from buyers interested in your home. That's what you want, and that's how you get the higher sales price. Okay, it used to be a couple of years ago, you just put it on the MLS and boom, you got 10 offers the first day it's on the listed. It was crazy. It was crazy time. That's not happening right now. Okay, you got to be marketing in every avenue you can think of, and not just putting up a sign and put it on the MLS. And you got to make sure your home is staged. When you have all these homes on the market to choose from, okay, people want to know, when they walk in the door, can they see themselves living there immediately without having to do any work? Because they get to be picky, so they're not going to choose a home that looks like they have a lot of work to do. So the more you make it look like it's ready to live in the moment, the more likely you are going to get multiple offers. Okay, so you got to make sure the house looks like it's ready for them to just walk in and start living in it. Homes are sitting on the market right now for about 26 days on average. Last year at this time, it was 17 days. So people are taking their time. There's a lot to choose from, and they know there's no competition. So buyers are really taking their time to make sure they are choosing the right house for them. Okay. Now let's take a look at mortgage rates. I talked about it already a little bit, but let's look at the specifics. Right now, we're looking at about 6.72% on a fixed rate, a 30-year fixed rate loan. Okay. And that sounds high when you compare it to what it was a couple years ago, all-time lows. But those times are over. Okay? And it's not likely to ever get down anywhere near even the 3s and 4s anywhere in the near future, and maybe in the far future. But we're really looking like we're going to be normalized in between 6 and 7%. And we're probably going to settle in somewhere between 6 and 6.5% towards the end of the year. And something extreme would have to happen for it to go lower than that in the economy. It's just that the reason why interest rates are high, what they are, is because home values skyrocketed, and it became we had this huge inflationary issue in the real estate market, and inflation in real estate separate from consumer inflation. So they can lower interest rates for short-term loans, but that's not necessarily going to mean that mortgage rates are going to go down. They're not connected. As interest rates have gone up here, values have still gone up. And so they've slowed down the increase in the values, but they were still going up until this past year. It's just now finally dropped 3%, and it's only projected to drop another 1%. That still makes the home values much higher than they were when they first increased the interest rates over 6%. So I don't see them going below 6% for that reason. So don't expect it to. We have to plan our future based on the idea that we're going to be stuck with interest rates over 6% for the foreseeable future. So what matters really is finding the right home at the right price and building equity in that home over time. Now, if you buy a home and it just happens for some reason interest rates do go way down, well, guess what just happened? You put yourself in a situation where you can refinance that loan at a much lower rate, and at the same time, your home's value is going to skyrocket, because when interest rates dive like that, values go way up. And so you not only do you have a lower interest rate, but you also have the high, you just increased the value of your home, which increased the equity in your home. Now, if you waited until the rates were that low, if it ever gets that low, If it ever gets 4% again, which is going to be a long time from now, if it ever does happen, if you waited till then, you're going to miss out on the equity because the home values are going to go up until then. And then when that does finally happen, it's going to go up huge and you're going to miss out. You're going to end up buying a higher price home with that interest rate with no chance of getting lower interest rate to make your monthly payments lower. As compared to right now, you buy a home at 6.5%, you have the lower home value as they've gone down to 2.6%. And someday the interest rate might be lower. And then you can take advantage of the lower value and the lower interest rate at some point. I wouldn't count on a lower interest rate. This is just, if it does ever happen, you're in a great position. Today, between now and next spring, early spring, people really start really looking at buying homes again around right after the Super Bowl. So it's really late winter, early spring is when buyers start showing up more after the fall and winter season. Okay, so between now and the Super Bowl is the best time to buy. It's absolute best time to buy between now and the Super Bowl. So if you're thinking about buying within the next year, start talking to your lender. Okay, if you don't have a lender, you don't know a lender, I work with some great lenders. I can hook you up with the lender I think matches up best with you based on your needs and what they specialize in. So just send me a message and I'll hook you up. But talk to your lender and start working on looking at your credit and see where you're at as far as that goes, and see what you're able to afford, what your budget's going to be, and if you do have a lower than desirable credit as far as what interest rate you get, you'll have time. You have time between now and the Super Bowl to work on that. So it doesn't take that long to get your credit score up. There's kind of like this conspiracy going on between Wall Street and the banks. All right, so Wall Street makes money when people spend money. Well, if banks aren't giving you loans, you're not spending money, and Wall Street suffers. So they make it quite easy to get your credit score up. There's just some things. Just follow the advice of your lender, and you're going to do great getting your credit score up. All right, and it's free. The advice from lenders are free, and they help you figure out what you should do. Now let's talk about one of my absolute favorite neighborhoods in the region, East Sacramento, or East Sac as we locals call it. It perfectly captures what makes living in Sacramento so wonderful. Picture tree-lined streets with mature canopies that create beautiful shade tunnels in our hot Sacramento summers. Classic California bungalows from the 1920s and 1930s, many with original hardwood floors and crown molding, and charming porches where you actually get to know your neighbors. The architecture is special. Each property has its own character and story. If your Pinterest board leans towards classic bungalow with crown molding, this is your neighborhood. But East Sacramento isn't just about pretty houses. It's about lifestyle. This is one of the most walkable neighborhoods in the entire region. You can walk to some of the best bakeries, restaurants, and shops Sacramento has to offer. J Street runs right through the heart of East Sac, lined with businesses that give the area its unique personality. East Sacramento is at the center of Sacramento's famous farm to fork movement. You've got incredible restaurants within walking distance that source their ingredients from local farms. McKinley Park is perfect for morning jogs, afternoon picnics, or community events throughout the entire year. Now, I want to be honest. East Sacramento is not the most affordable option in our area. The charm and location come with a premium, but these properties hold their value extremely well. The lots tend to be smaller than newer developments, and many of these homes need updates. But that's often where opportunity lies. The tight-knit community feel is often what I hear about from clients who live there. Neighborhood associations, block parties, and a real sense that people look after each other there. In today's world, that community connection is increasingly rare and valuable. From an investment perspective, East Sacramento has been one of the most stable neighborhoods in our region. The combination of a limited inventory, you can't build any more 1920s and 30s bungalows, and high desirability means well-maintained properties are able to weather market downturns better than other areas. The location is unbeatable. Yes, you can drive work, but you're also close enough to bike to work. And all this while you feel like you're living in a quiet residential neighborhood. There's easy access Highway 50 for trips to Tahoe, and is perfectly positioned to enjoy everything the Sacramento region has to offer. Current market conditions present interesting opportunities in the East Sacramento area. With increased inventory across the region, even desirable neighborhoods like East Sac are seeing more realistic pricing and longer time on the market. As we wrap up, I'm genuinely optimistic about where we're headed. For buyers, this is honestly the best market that we've seen in years. You have choices, time to make decisions, and you have negotiating power. For sellers, success requires strategy and realistic expectations. I'm also excited about our broader Sacramento community. LinkedIn recently named Sacramento one of the top 25 growing cities in 2025. We have incredible events like the Banana Festival at William Land Park last weekend and the upcoming Talk It Up Festival at Fremont Park next weekend. The diversity of neighborhoods in our region means there's truly something for everyone. Whether you're drawn to East Sacramento's charm, Granite Bay's luxury, El Dorado Hills' family-friendly neighborhoods, or emerging opportunities in Natomas and Carmichael, as well as many others, Sacramento offers options for different lifestyles and budgets. Real estate is ultimately more than just about numbers and trends. It's about finding a place to build a life, raise a family, become part of a community. Sacramento offers all of that in abundance. If you're considering making a move, reach out to a real estate professional like myself who understands our region's nuances. Every neighborhood has its own personality and opportunities. Thanks for watching and being part of our Sacramento community. I'm Irik Edens with Full of Heart Homes, here to help you navigate this market with confidence. Until next time, this has been your Sacramento Real Estate Market Update. Take care, Sacramento, and remember, there's never been a better time to fall in love with our incredible region.